Welcome to ChromeIllusion.com. I'm Stephen Burns, and we have completed organizing or aligning our architecture to the right according to the perspective grid that we created in red. Now, I've took the initiative and created another grid because what we're going to do is we're going to create the front facing of the building moving over to our right, and we want it to match the facings of the buildings that's in the back here. We kind of zoom in close and we look at the lines that are making up the top and bottom portions of the windows. Let's turn off the red perspective grid and let's turn on the green one that I created to match the perspective of the front facing of both the front and the back buildings. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut and paste and make sure that our architecture is aligned correctly to this particular perspective. So let's go ahead and grab the one that we haven't utilized yet, that we cut from. Let's place it on top of the one above and let's turn it on. In fact, we may not even need to put it on top. Let's go ahead and just put it right back on the bottom, and let's bring it on over, and we can see we're going to need to transform this to match our current perspective. So go ahead and hit the Command T, and I'm going to move this up higher. And if you see here, I'm going to want my pretty much the grout here to match up as best as I can. Let's zoom in just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to come in just a little tighter. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to, first of all, what I need to do is to find my rotation point, which is right here. I'm going to bring it on over and place it right over in here. And as I move the transform tool back over, that rotational point should stay the same. Alright, there we are. So I want to get this grout to match up right about in here. And there we go. I'm going to put the rotation tool right on that corner where the tool are, where the two grout areas are joining. And I'm going to stretch this out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform it so that the entire shape is transformed from the rotational point. And the way I do that is hold down the Alt and Shift key together, or Option and Shift key together, and as I scroll downward, everything resizes from the rotational point. So I'm going to get as close as I can. There we are. That's it. So if you look at the other portions here on the corner, let's see if we can get in a little closer and see just how close we've gotten. There it is. Okay, it looks pretty good. So what I need to do is to make sure that these lines are matching up to my perspective grid, and it is pretty close. All I want to do is I'm going to hold the Command key, go to Distort, and just bring this down a little bit to make sure that matches up much better. And I believe the top is looking pretty accurate. Alright, so let's hit enter and it's done. Now I'm going to turn off the perspective grid, and what I'd like to do is merge these two layers together. Select them, merge them together, and let's turn it off temporarily. And the reason being is I want to create a mask so that it's showing through, or looks like it's behind the other wall here. I think the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go ahead to my quick selection tool, and the reason I'm choosing this is because there is some texture along this grout or this concrete here, and I'm on the wrong layer, so I'm going to select the correct layer and bring it across. And as you can see, the selection is honoring those edges there right along the grout, so I want to be as accurate as possible. And I'm going to pull away by holding the Option key or the Alt key to take away from some of these areas because it's spilled over a little bit. And I'm going to bring it back, and it's discovering where it wants to stay. Okay, so I'm going to continue to use my lasso tool, hold the Shift key, and we're going to select all this area. Alright, so this is the area that I want to keep. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to select my architecture and turn it on. And what I'm going to do next is just simply give it a layer mask. There it is. Now it's behind the other building, and it's matching the perspective pretty well. So what I like to do next is add some shading to it. Actually, a little bit of contrast that's going to match the scene. We're going to do that in the next tutorial. Let's go ahead and bring this forward, hit the tab key, and give you a better view of where we're going with this. And when we come back, we're going to add a little bit of shadowing to give it some depth, and we're going to get this to match the lighting of the overall scene, because right now it's a little bit yellowish, reddish, and a little bit of a greenish in there as well. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and please visit my website at chromeillusion.com. Make sure you visit my book section, okay, and view my latest book, Photoshop CS5, Trickery and Effects. Okay, and then be sure to also visit the tutorial section so that you can view a plethora of free 5-minute video shorts. Okay, all right, I'm Stephen Burns. I look forward to seeing you again. Enjoy.